Hey everyone, Laura here.
Tanya here.
We've been friends for over a decade and worked together for a long time in call centers as agents, quality analysts, managers, and supervisors.
In 2018, we started up this podcast to talk about the batshit bonkers bullshit we see and continue to see in our time at work and at home as consumers.
We also share your stories as both consumers and as employees.
So keep them coming to Q as in cucumber at yahoo.com.
We host the show anonymously and use aliases. In the stories we tell, we change names and identifying details of people, locations, and companies.
We also share your emails anonymously, so any similarities to real people, locations, or companies is purely coincidental.
So if you think we're talking about you, guilty conscience much?
Now on with the fun.
Love your faces.
Smooches.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
This job would be great if it wasn't for the fucking customers.
You're always this stupid. Did you take lessons? Just calm down.
Oh, fuck you!
You can't handle the truth.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
In other words, be nice, asshole.
Aggressive breast cancer. Yeah, that's what she... Avery doesn't think this shit is funny.
Oh, of course Avery does.
You know, Mr. Hart on his sleeve, he's just like, God damn it, don't be making fucking jokes about this shit. It's not funny. Mom got cancer. And Sophia's just like, she has aggressive breast cancer.
You know what? Honestly, fucking
whatever. I mean,
at this point, yeah.
I mean, I'm only like, what, 6 weeks, about 8 weeks in? Wait, August, September, October, about 7.5 weeks in, yeah. And I'm already fucking tired. Like, I still have 12 more weeks. Well, 14 more weeks.
Yeah.
13.
So, in case you haven't figured it out, welcome to another episode of Q as in Cucumber. I'm Laura Mack.
And I'm Tanya Edwards.
Look who's back, bitches!
I'm back. We're back.
We're back.
And I have to apologize because this has been partially like 90% my fault.
No. There's no apologies. No.
I've had it one hell of a time.
Oh yeah. So this is just a quick episode to give you guys an update on what the fuck is going on. Because a lot of you have sent emails, because I put on our Facebook page that we had some pretty life-altering news that we had to deal with, and we would be taking a break. And we got so many emails from you guys saying, I hope everything's okay. You know, thoughts and prayers. Sending us good juju, which was great. We really appreciate it. But Tanya has not really been feeling up to recording, which is totally fine. But I finally got her over here today, and we felt we wanted to share with you, or she felt, because it's not my story to tell, so I haven't said anything. Because I've recorded with Jess, and I was like, nope, this is Tanya's story to tell. So tell everybody what's going on.
So, about back in June, I felt a little bump on my boob. I was like, blew it off. Late July, I was like, oh, there really is a lump on my boob. So, made everybody in my house feel it. Do you feel this lump on my boob? Made a couple of my friends at work feel it. Do you feel this? My poor brother was like, I've never felt your titty before, but
Oh, God.
poor David.
Poor David.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So, I went to the doctor, had a mammogram, of course, had a ultrasound, ended up getting a biopsy, and on the 9th of August, it's so weird. You know how, like, your wedding day, your kids' birthdays, those days stick with you?
Mm-hmm.
That day.
Oh, I know. Of course, that's
the day.
That is the day. And I was actually in California at Legoland. Yeah. And I was, like, in the middle of Legoland.
Yeah.
Crying. See, you're
So,
crying
I
now.
know.
I'm crying.
So they told me that, it's a good thing I went to the doctor. So, because I have breast cancer. It's stage 1, which is super good. It's not real big. If you could see, it's like about the size of a nickel. It's stage 1, but the problem that we're having is it's aggressive. So it's type 3. It's invasive ductal carcinoma. So we're taking a pretty aggressive approach to this. I've been going to chemo since for the last 6 weeks. I have 13 more rounds left. When I went to the doctor the other day, I went to go see my oncologist, and we're starting to see some progress already after 3. The first 4 that I have, the one I have a week from today, I get 2 kinds of chemo, and then I go every other week. After this next one I have in a week, then I start going every week. So I've a lot of changes to my body. I'm bald. I'm a little vain. Especially about like my hair and my makeup and my nails and the way I look all the time.
I gotta say, you look really good bald. It looks like a fashion thing. It doesn't look like a cancer thing. It looks like a fashion thing, quite frankly.
It's, yeah. And you know,
what did somebody messaged me on Facebook, and they were like, she looks like a chubby Amber Rose.
Somebody else was like working Amber Rose.
Yeah, because that's really what you look like. It's too funny.
So I haven't worn any makeup. Like, I've always been like a fucking monkey hairy girl. Like, always like plucking and tweezing and everything. And now like all that is gone. I haven't shaved my legs in almost a month. My underarms, I don't have to shave them. I always had like hair like on the side of my face that I was always plucking out and waxing. All that shit's gone. I always had like a little mustache. It's gone. I used to have like one hair that would grow out of the top of my nose. It's so weird. It's like a blonde hair. It would just grow out of the top of my nose.
Ew.
It's gone. My
Weird.
eyebrows. I worked so hard for like 2 years to get them to grow back because I had drawn them on for so long.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to like thin out a little bit. But I have been tested. Like, I did the genetic testing as well. And I am positive for the BRCA1 gene. So, I'm HER2 positive, which is a good thing.
Okay.
But what that also means is that the cancer that I have will not respond to any kind of treatment like estrogen or progesterone. That's why we had to take the chemotherapy route.
Oh, okay. That clears up a little.
That clears up some things. Yeah. So,
because we all have an open chat at all times on the Facebook Messenger app with all of us. And I love that. I think that's awesome that it's just a way for us to kind of like, I don't have to message everybody to let them know what's going on. I throw it in there and life is grand. So we've all been getting updates.
Yeah.
Like
I let them know like everything. Like when I found out, I sent it in a group chat and I was like, hey, I don't want anybody fucking freaking out on me or nothing.
And of course we all freaked out.
Right. And of course they all fucking freaked out. But I was like, look, this is what's going on. So this is why we have to, because it is aggressive, like the center of it is super aggressive. Mm-hmm. And the way, I guess, that she put it, like the way it's starting to make the overall tissue of my breast look now is changing the way my breast tissue looks. So, because I'm the HER2 positive, I can't do the progesterone or the estrogen. But because of the aggressiveness of it, that's why we have to do the chemo. That's why we're treating it so aggressively. I did get the genetic testing done because cancer runs in my family like wildfire.
Yeah.
My dad had 14 brothers and sisters, and my dad has cancer. All of my uncles have had cancer. Every one of my aunts has had breast cancer, ovarian cancer, pancreatic cancer. My dad right now goes back and forth. He has bladder cancer, and then it goes away, and then it's just a whole thing with that. One of my uncles right now is struggling with pancreatic cancer. My Aunt Tony died of pancreatic cancer. Yeah. So cancer is really prevalent in my family on my dad's side.
So the fact that you do check, like you do your breast exam.
Like my Aunt Tony was so vocal and so, you have to check. You girls have to check. You have to check, and that's always stuck in my mind. Mm-hmm. So, I got the genetic testing done, and that was, that came back that I am positive for the BRCA1 gene. Mm-hmm. So, after I finished my chemotherapy in January, I am having a double hysterectomy or a double mastectomy, and I'm having a hysterectomy done.
Yeah.
The reason we're going to do like my right side where the cancer is at, that's, now that I've had cancer, it's 80% more likely to come back on that side. The left side, I'm like 60% more likely to have cancer on that side.
Okay.
Rather than go through this bullshit again, and financially, mentally, physically, my family, my friends, my kids, I can't put them through this anymore. So I'm just going to have the double mastectomy done. And then because I have breast cancer, I'm more prone to getting cervical cancer and ovarian cancer. So, again, back to the BRCA1 because I'm positive. I'm like 70% likely to get cervical cancer. So we are going to take out my ovaries and my uterus and everything. We're just going to
take it all.
A hysterectomy.
You're not using it. I'm not using it anymore. Go ahead and take it.
Right, yeah. So my thing is like, okay, we've had a good run.
It was nice knowing you.
Yeah, I mean, they've done everything has done their job. I've had 2 kids. I breastfed. They were cute to look at for a while. All that jazz. Get rid of them. I don't want them on me.
No.
They're poison. They're no good.
They're killing you.
Sophia found a T-shirt today that she wants me to buy after I get my new boobs, and it said, "Yeah, they're fake. My last set tried to kill me," or something like that.
Yes, I've seen that one.
But yeah, so it's just been a bit much. Like I've been at home a lot. I'm on leave of absence from work. Because I tried to go. I thought, I'll just go back to work after I'm chemo.
You're a dipshit.
For one, you can't drive yourself to chemo because you get a little sick there.
Yep.
And the doctors frown upon that.
Talk about your first chemo thing, because we just had Jessica has an annual weenie roast, and it's like we have certain things that we know as a group we do every year together.
Yeah.
We do Jessica's weenie roast, we do Carly's birthday, we do Christmas. Like we have certain things, so we all went this last Sunday. And we got to hear about your first appointment, which sounded scary as fuck.
Carlita of Rock is my almost wifey. Her son had cancer. So Carly has been like on my ass, just sticking close. She comes over to the house. She goes to chemo with me. She shows up to chemo, just, anything. She even started a damn meal train. She's just Carly. Yeah. Carlito crazy butt. And my brother goes to chemo with me.
Right.
So we go to chemo, and of course I don't know what to expect. I've got a port, just so you know, I have a port, so I'm not getting poked all the time because I have to get a lot of fucking labs done and all kinds of bullshit. So, not even a week after I found out I had cancer, I had surgery to have a port put in.
Right.
So, if you've never been to chemo with somebody or never had cancer, you really just don't know what to expect. And like I said, I mean, I've seen my aunts and my uncles go through this shit, but I've never watched somebody sit there and get poisoned. And that's basically all I'm fucking doing for 3 hours. So I get in there, they get me set up, they get my port ready and everything, put in the first little part. And, mind you, this is my first time. I've never done this before, right? So they flush out your port and they put heparin in there and everything. You get the most god-awful taste in your mouth, like you just sucked on a alcohol swab.
Ugh.
You can smell it, you can taste it, and you're just like, heh. So they always have mints around. They tell you to bring mints with you. So those are things like after 3 times, I'm just like, oh, where's my mint? You got the heparin? I'm getting my mint.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, So, takes a little while for them to actually start administering the chemo because they have to give you all these other drugs to keep you from getting sick because you tend to feel a little nauseous. Some people get diarrhea while they're doing it. It just, everybody reacts differently. So they give me this drug.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, so they give me this drug. Mind you, you're in like this little, when you go to the emergency room, like the little room, okay, it's a little bit smaller than that, and it's got a recliner in it and a TV that's attached to the wall, like they have in hospitals. One of those, like the little tray willy things, and your giant IV thing, and then 2 chairs.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in the recliner, my IV's to my left, To my right is Carly and David, and we're over there laughing and giggling and everything, having a good time
Mhm.
because I'm so fucking nervous. I'm just like, didn't sleep the night before, I've got diarrhea. I'm just like, oh God, they're going to poison me.
What is going to happen?
What's going to happen, right? So I'm freaking the fuck out. So they give me this drug, and I forget the name of it, and it's really shitty of me to forget it, but I forget a lot of shit right now, so sorry. It starts with an A, though. It's like Amada or Amadar or something like that. Anyways, they give me this shit. Now, the whole time, every time they give me something, they're like, hey, if you feel any different, anything, feels weird, out of place, wrong, anything, let us know immediately. So I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting in the little recliner, I'm laughing and giggling, David and Carlita. All of a sudden, I started touching my mouth, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? So my lips are numb. I look over at my brother, and I was like, I don't feel so right. I look down. I have on like a t-shirt and some shorts and some sandals. I look down. I got my arms kind of out in front of me. I'm fucking red, bitches. Like,
oh my God.
Like
somebody just slathered you in red paint.
Yes.
Red.
Like red. Like somebody threw blood on me. I'm red.
Oh my God.
The whites of my eyes were red. So, and I have green eyes, like greenish hazel eyes. So they looked super creepy, David said.
Oh my God.
My ears are ringing. I'm about to throw up. I'm getting kidney pains and I can't breathe. And on top of that, I'm bright fucking red.
You're like, hello, something's, you know what? I don't want to be a bother, but something may be wrong.
So David is like, oh my God. And he yells for the nurse, something is wrong. And Carly's like, oh shit. So we're all just like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Is this normal? What's going on? And they're like, oh shit. So this happened, I would say, like within less than 2 minutes, they had it under control. Like, it was that quick. Like, from the time I felt my lips and said, I don't feel so right, and they got everything done, they came in there and started fleshing out my port immediately. Yeah. They put it up to like 999 and just started pushing it through.
Still, when you can't breathe, 2 minutes is a long time.
As it felt like somebody was sitting on my chest.
Yep.
And then they start giving me Benadryl to counteract it and everything else.
Because clearly you're allergic.
I'm allergic, right? But, you know, I can't fault anybody who didn't know this. I've never had cancer. I've never had chemo before. I've never been given this drug before. So, yeah, that was a little traumatic. Then they gave me 50 milligrams of Benadryl. So I was good and fucked off the rest of the time. Mm-hmm. They have a fucking sweet-ass refrigerator at the chemo place, though. It's got, like, puddings and popsicles and drinks and sandwiches and snackies and crackers and cookies and just any fucking thing you want to eat or drink is down there. Plus you can bring food in and everything else. Yeah, so but they got it taken care of. I mean, the nurses that I have, so after all that happened, and I was just like, so I have a lady that's attached to me. She's a nurse navigator. Her name is Kelly. And she came to see me for my first chemo. Okay. And she calls and everything. She's the person, like, if I have a question about something or I don't understand something or if I need help with something, she figures it out for me because I shouldn't be thinking a lot right now. Right. Or worrying about shit as much. So, Kelly, just as all this is going on, I'm having this reaction and Kelly walks in and she's like, oh shit. So she immediately grabs the little thing with like the pulse ox and the blood pressure and the thing and stuff. And she starts putting shit on my fingers and around my arms. And she's like rubbing my back. She was like, you're going to be okay. And I was like, I feel like I'm going to throw up. Yeah. So they gave me that stupid little, throw up bag thing. And I threw that on the ground because I was mad. As I'm like cussing and everything. I'm like, what the fuck? This isn't right. Something's wrong. They were like, calm down. We're fixing it. And they, you know, so then they do it. And like I said, they did it really quick and everything. Yeah. But it was freaking scary. Yeah. So I was asking my nurse and I was like, is that normal? She was like, absolutely not. She said, I've been doing this for 14 years. This is only the third time I've seen that.
Well, plus, as far as, here's where I would kind of struggle. Obviously, this was an extreme, case, but you're giving me poison. Mm-hmm. Of course, I'm not going to feel normal.
Right. But no, at that point, I was not getting poison. At that point, because what they gave me is an anti-nausea medicine for people on chemotherapy.
Oh. Oh.
That's what it is. It's to keep me from getting sick.
Okay, I thought this was the poison.
No.
Oh.
My poison comes in 2 doses right now. So,
Okay.
it takes about an hour or so for them to get everything hooked up, set up, and everything, and get all the good. Now they give me Ativan, which I went to my doctor's office, which is right behind where I get my chemo at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little cancer office back there, and I had to go pick up some paperwork for my leave of absence and stuff for my job.
Mm-hmm.
My fucking doctor's a hoot. She looks like she would be like really stern and make you eat all your peas. But then whenever you fucking talk to her, she looks at me over her glasses. We're not driving ourselves to chemo, are we? And I'm like, no. You told me I fucking couldn't, so I'm not.
Right.
So I walk in her office to get the paperwork after my second chemo, and she walks in, and this is when they started giving me Ativan. And I walk in, and she had walked by the little window, and she was like, "Hey, how'd it go?" And I was like, I got poisoned. And she was like, they gave you the Ativan. And I was like, they did.
Yes, they
did. Yeah. So, but yeah, the nurses and stuff that I have are super cool. David comes with me. His job has been super, super good.
Aww,
about like
nice.
letting him off on those days or at that time to take me. Because it's kind of hard. Like Grandma was like, "Oh, I'll go with you." I was like, "Absolutely not," because you'll sit back there and cry because it's a pretty goddamn depressing place to go.
Well, of course.
I mean, everybody you see in there is sick, like in wheelchairs or has no hair and has fuzzy hair or whatever, So I'm like, no, I don't need you to go with me. I need somebody who's going to be like, So me and David take the laptop
somebody
with
that
us.
can like lift you up and distract you and not.
Yeah, me and David take
breakdown.
He brings his laptop with him, and we watch this show called Carnival Row on Amazon. So we watch like shows and stuff, and have little snackies, and what I've started doing. And I'll be quite honest with everyone, like I've been taking edibles, because it helps with the nausea.
Yeah.
So right before I found out I had cancer, I started losing a lot of weight, and they think that this was like a precursor.
Right.
The fact that I'm diabetic and started taking my medicine kind of helped me lose a little bit of weight, but I've gone from, and I'm a big girl, and I'll just be honest with y'all, I weighed like 347 pounds, and now I'm down to 280.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'm excited for that part of it only because I know your doctor was talking about putting you on insulin.
Right. Yeah, and that was like a thing. Like, yeah, right before I found out I had cancer, I had just made a deal with my doctor. Like, hey, don't put me on insulin. Give me 3 months. I'll get my A1C down. I'll lose some more weight. I've already lost some weight. At that point, I'd lost like 20 pounds. I was like, I'm on the right path. I'm cool, doctor. And she was like, all right, I'll give you these 3 months. Well, like 3 weeks later is when I found out I have diabetes, or when I found out I have cancer. So now I'm down like 60 or 70 pounds. Yeah. So it's just been, and it's kind of funny because every time you go have chemo, like I have to see my oncologist in the morning, and then I have to go to, like an hour later, I go to chemo, and they weigh you because the dose of the medicine has to be exact because they make it to order. They make it to order. So once I go in there, the first thing I do whenever I get checked in is they weigh me.
Right.
And which is so funny because it kind of lets me see, like one day it said I weighed 292 when I was at my doctor's office. And then whenever I went to chemo, it said I weighed 280. And I was like, okay, so there's a big ass difference. We need to figure out what the hell, because that's a huge difference. Yeah. So they went with what my weight was that afternoon. That way they didn't give me too much. But it was like, they were like, okay, well, we need to recalibrate this. I said, yeah, because I was just at my doctor's office like an hour ago, and this is how much I weighed.
I didn't lose 19
I didn't
pounds
lose
in
that
an
much
hour.
weight like in an hour. Yeah. So they were just like, okay. So, they're, and then so once I go in there, it's, so the chemo that I have 2 different kinds now. I can't even fucking pronounce them, but one of them, I call them the red syringes of death. There's 4 of them. And they're so this is I always talk shit to the lady, to the nurse when she brings me. I'm like, oh, here you go with your fucking hazmat suit, and I got nothing. So she's like gloved up, gowned up. She's got a mask on, the big clear mask, over her face, and the shit comes out in one of those giant, triple thick bags with a biohazard shit. I have a picture of it. I'll send it to you, and we can put it on the thing. And it's this giant red tube. I don't know if anybody ever went to Applebee's and had like the shots and the that they were like Jello shots that were in the syringes.
Oh yeah.
They're big like that. The giant syringes, right?
Okay.
There's 4 of them. That's my first one. It's bright red. And it takes 5 minutes to put it into my port. So they have to put it into my IVs, and it takes 5 minutes per thingy.
Okay.
Per syringe. They do that, then they flush it, they do everything they do, and then they put this other one in, and that one drips for an hour. So I sit there for an hour after they do that, and then they flush it, they do everything else they're going to do, and then I'm done. But altogether, it takes like 3.5 hours, depending on how fast they are, to do everything. And then I go home. But I've decided now, before I go, like while I'm at my doctor's office, I put my lidocaine on my port, because shit kind of bothers you after a while, like getting it poked all the fucking time.
Right.
So they give you this lidocaine stuff to put on there. I put that on about an hour before, numbs it up, you can't feel shit.
Yeah.
And then while I'm in my doctor's office, I pop me an edible real quick, a little gummy or a piece of chocolate or something. I always carry in a little Ziploc bag for me in my purse. So while I'm waiting like for my doctor to come into the little examining room, I pop in my little gummy, and that way, and it takes about an hour to 2 hours for the edibles to kick in.
Right.
So that way, because the second chemo that I had, the reason we started doing that was because after my first one, I was cool. Like Wednesday after I had it done, I was cool. Thursday, I felt a little under the weather. Friday, I didn't feel so hot. Saturday, I thought I was going to fucking die. Sunday, I just had diarrhea all day. I mean, it was just like,
it just progressed.
It just, yeah. So
you're expecting it to be, you're thinking you're in the clear. You're like, okay, I reacted good. But then as it progresses, you're like, no.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, like I said the other day, like now, like in my second one, I got sick on the way home. And then, so that's when I decided, okay, well, I'm going to start eating an edible while I'm in the doctor's office, so I'll do that.
Yeah.
That way I don't get so sick. So whenever I'm on my way home, I'm just high.
Right.
Between the Benadryl and the edible, I'm high.
Yeah.
I go in, I take a shower. No, I can't even take a fucking shower because I got Neulasta on my arm and I can't get the shit wet.
Right.
So I go in, I kind of put on something comfy and everything, and I go sit in my bed. I'm just like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm fucking done now. Because all I'm doing is sitting in a chair, but this shit is so...
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting. So, excuse me. So I have chemo on Wednesdays. I know I'm going to be sick. Thursday, Friday, Saturday probably. Sometimes Sunday as well. Monday, feel okay. Tuesday, feel okay. Like today, I feel okay. Today's Wednesday. It's been a week. By Sunday night, Monday afternoonish, I'll start getting diarrhea and I'll start getting sick again. And then I'll be sick until like Tuesday sometime. And then I'll feel okay and go do it again on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's a whole fucking thing.
It's a process.
It really is. It really is. Like, it's... and then I didn't realize, like... So, on top of all this, Avery left. And that made me even more sad. Because he's gone. He's in Arizona. It's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
It's a great
he got
fucking
into
thing.
college.
He got into college. He got into a junior college. Like, right as I was finding out I had cancer... He was telling me, he was like, Mom, there's a couple of junior colleges, one in Oklahoma and one in Arizona, that are really interested in me because, he plays semi-pro football. They're really interested in me coming out there and coming to play ball for them. And I was just like, wow, I've always wanted my kids to go to college. Like, and that's, I was like, holy shit, yes. So, I was like, okay, well, whatever we got to do to make this happen, we will make it happen, Avery. We got to do it. Well, then I found out I had cancer, and he was like, I don't think I should go. And I was like... You're going. Don't let this shit stop you. If anything, that's even more of a reason for you to get out there and do what you're supposed to do. Like,
right. And honestly, it'll make you feel better to know, like, he's doing the thing that you guys worked
so fucking hard.
For it. Like, you were a football mom
Yeah.
for so many years because that was the goal.
Yeah, for him to go to college.
Right,
Yeah.
with football.
I mean, and granted,
yeah.
I mean, my son has done amazingly well for himself.
Mhm.
He's doing heavy equipment, machine operating, and all that stuff. I mean, he was making like $24 an hour,
Yeah.
which in Colorado Springs
really good.
for a 22-year-old kid is pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
He's doing normal 22-year-old shit, but now he's playing football. So that was kind of hard to like. I had my first chemo.
A lot.
I had my first chemo on Wednesday, and then that following Tuesday, I sent him on a plane to Arizona, and I was a mess in the airport.
Sure.
Like, I'm already like, freaking out and everything else about everything else that's going on. And then I've got, here's my kid. He's leaving. He's 789 miles away.
Yeah.
And it just, because I made him share his location with me.
Yeah.
So I could see how long it would take me to get to his house.
Yeah.
But where he's at is in Tucson. And the dorms that he's using, that they use for these guys, it's the overflow for Arizona State.
Oh, okay.
It's like a fucking resort. Why does he send me fucking Snapchats of him in a hammock next to the pool?
Shut up.
I mean, just everything. I was like,
my
oh,
God.
fuck. It's a hard knock life, huh, guy? So we've been doing all the financial aid and trying to get all that straightened out. And I think I need your help with something when we're done. Because I can't figure this shit out.
Okay.
But yeah, so that, and then Sophia's going to Paris in March. So, and she's going to beauty school while she's still in high school. Like, everything has just been like, and I'm trying to maintain.
Everything is turned up to 11 at this point.
Right. Yeah. And I'm trying to make sure that everything stays as normal as possible for Sophia and Avery. Avery,
Right.
it's a little bit easier because he's a grown up now.
Right.
He's a grown up. But with Sophia, I'm trying to make sure that everything is still normal for her. She's her and my mom had aggressive breast cancer shit that she keeps saying.
Oh
fucking
my
dork.
God.
And she's, Sophia's, she and I are a lot alike. She's not real huggy, lovey, like that. Where
Right.
Avery is more hard on his sleeve, hug you. Before he left, he would just sit on my bed and look at me. Like, so what are you fucking looking at? What are you staring at me for, guy? What's going on?
Right?
Are you trying to find the cancer? Are you going to x-ray it out of me? What are you doing? So, but Sophia just walks into the room and she's like, hey, Baldy, you want something to drink? So, I mean, and that's the way that she's dealing with it, and she makes like little jokes and stuff, and that's fine. I make jokes about it and stuff, and I'm just trying to make sure that everything stays as normal as possible for her. And like, I'm on leave of absence from work right now, which is fucking boring, but most of the time I'm sleeping or I'm sick. So like, I have days like today where it's been a week out and I feel okay today. But I know like if I have to go to the store when I get done here.
Right.
And then pick Sophia up, I'm gonna have to go home and go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go home and
that'll be it.
I'm fucking spent. Before Avery left, I had to go buy him some new sneakers and everything so he could work out. And Sophia some dress shoes for homecoming. And we went to the Citadel, we went to the mall. We parked right next to the store where I wanted to go in at. So we went into Burlington and we went to that shoe place that's in there. Then we went over to the Vans store real quick. We were in there an hour. I had to fucking go home and like crash. You would have thought that. I mean, you would
have thought you just ran a marathon.
I mean, like I was, Christmas shopping on the 24th, like for 12 hours straight.
God.
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
I was so hot and tired and everything else. Like everything. I mean, even the other day when we went to Jess's house, when I got home, my brother was like, "Are you okay? You were gone," because he started texting me, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, because they don't like me to go too many places by myself right now."
Right.
Because I start getting sick sometimes just out of the blue.
Right.
So He was like, I said, yeah, I'm fine. I said, we're getting ready to leave here in a little bit. I got to take Taylor home, you know. And I got home and he was like, damn, you look so wore out. He was like, what were y'all doing? I was like, just standing there talking. I said, I was sitting down most of the time. I was, you know, he was like, oh my God, like me going to the store is a whole fucking thing now. Like and they're not lying when they say like shit like chemo brain.
Mm-hmm.
I walked around the fucking store the other day for a good hour. And could not remember what the fuck I was doing. Like, I was like, what the fuck did I...
Really?
What did I need? Like, and then as I was walking around, I'm just throwing other random shit in my cart. And I was like, no, there was something that I needed. It was deodorant. Like, and I went to the store and I went to the store 2 more times after that and still did not buy deodorant.
Wow.
Yeah, because I've been looking for like an aluminum-free, like natural deodorant, and I've tried a few, and they hurt. They've given me. I just have like a horrible rash under my underarms.
Yeah.
From deodorant. Like I don't know if it's that or the chemo or what, but
yeah.
So there's all this shit. So I'm just like, I can't fucking remember nothing. Like I am wandering around the store,
right.
And on top of that, okay. Most of the time I don't wear a hat. I'm wearing a hat today because it's fucking cold, so I got a little beanie on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time I'm not fucking wearing anything on my head. Twice already in the last like 2-3 weeks, some woman has come up to me and hugged me just out of the blue at the store.
Oh.
I was at Walmart the other day, like a week ago, and this little old lady comes over to me. She had real short hair, and she gave me a hug, and she said, I have a feeling we're in the same boat. No, we're in the same club. And I was like, oh, I think we are. And she was like, what stage are you? And I said, so, I mean, it's just.
Now I'm crying.
I know. And she was like 75 years old. And I was just, and then she just kept saying, you're so young. You're so young. And I was like, that's what they keep saying. But I'm like damn near 50. So I don't feel like that's young. But she was like, you're going to be okay. And da-da-da-da. And, you know, she said, you know, you just that kind of stuff. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. It's crazy. The whole thing is just nuts because I never thought that this, I mean, I knew.
Nobody ever thinks.
No, I mean, here's the thing though, because I knew with like my family history, it's kind of inevitable, you know? It was something that I knew was a strong possibility because of everything that goes on in my family health-wise. But I was at a age where I had passed their ages, where they had been diagnosed with this or any other kind of cancer.
So maybe you thought you were like home free.
It skipped us. It skipped our generation.
Right.
And, you know, I don't keep in contact with a lot of my family a lot. Come to find out, I think my cousin said 6 of our cousins have tested positive for BRCA1. I'm the first one that has a cancer diagnosis, I think. And then there are 3 other second cousins that have the BRCA1. So there's been, now it's starting to come up.
Right.
So, you know, you just don't think that, honestly, when I found it, I thought I was being overdramatic. I was just like, shit, right.
Well, you know what? It's really interesting because when I had the heart thing, right? When I first started to not feel right, I started like I felt like I couldn't breathe, right? Jumped in the shower to try to feel better, realized I was in deep shit like 2 minutes into the shower, opened the shower door, I was completely pale, like. And what flashed through my mind was the Rosie O'Donnell stand-up special called A Heartfelt Special, where she talks about the symptoms of a heart attack. And what she said was, statistically, women are actually more likely to die from a heart attack than a man, because men go to the hospital at the very first sign. Women...
We keep doing shit.
Right. And we think... oh, they could be out helping someone else who really needs it. I don't want to be dramatic and blah, blah, blah. And that's why we fucking die from this shit.
Yeah.
Because of that. So the fact that you're a prime example. You thought you were just being dramatic.
So when I went to my primary and I was like, hey, I think I found a little lump on my boob over here. And she was like, all right, let's have a look. And, she does her little thing and stuff. And she was like, okay, I'm going to give you a referral so you can go get your mammogram and you can get an ultrasound and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, well, do you feel it? She was like, well, that doesn't matter. You felt it. And I was like, but you didn't feel it, right? And she was like, that doesn't matter. You know your body better than I do.
Right.
And I was like, but now I feel like I'm crazy. So she was like, no, we take this seriously.
Absolutely.
I was like, okay.
Especially with your family history.
So, and then what was so crazy was like, that was like mid-July. Yeah, that had to be mid-July.
Yeah.
And then I had to wait I think it was like 12 days before I had my, no, it was like a week before I had my mammogram and my biopsy, or my mammogram and my ultrasound. And then it took them like another week and a half to get everything okayed through insurance, which fuck you, insurance sucks, okay? Because why do I have to have a fucking... Anyways. With the shit that I've had to go through with insurance in the last couple months, you know what? Fuck y'all.
Yeah.
So when they finally did the biopsy and stuff, I got the biopsy done on a Tuesday, and they said it takes 3 days to get the results. So when you go in for your biopsy, they automatically have an appointment for you 3 business days out. Luckily, mine was on a Tuesday, so I got mine done on a Friday. I went in there, had my results. I go in, Grandma comes with me, and I was just like, all right, I see the little doctor lady. They put me in a little room, a little cute little room and everything, and I'm just like, all right. She comes in, and she was like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, oh, I'm good. How are you? She was like, I'm wonderful, blah, blah, blah. It's Friday. I was like, right, yeah. And she was like, all right, so got the results back and you have cancer. And I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Just.
You had convinced yourself at this point that.
It was nothing. It was.
That you were being dramatic.
Nothing.
Yeah.
That it was nothing. Like, I was just like, huh?
Yeah.
And she was like, so. When I had that appointment on Friday, she was like, you have an appointment on Wednesday with an oncologist at this place and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, and she's great. And I have to tell you, I have the fucking best. This team of doctors. My oncologist, the surgeon that I have, this doctor, so when they told me I had her, I was just like, okay, well, what if I don't like her? They're like, you're going to like her. She's been doing this for like 30 years. She's up to date on everything. When people have her, they love her. I was like, whatever. What if I don't like her? Fuck off.
Yeah.
So I was telling one of the ladies at work, and I told her who my doctor was, and she started crying. And I was like, She was like,
hello? Why?
She was like, you're so lucky. She said, that is the best fucking doctor for cancer you could ever get. She was like, who else do you have? So I bring her my papers, and she was like, oh, you have this one? Oh my God. And then wait till you meet this plastic surgeon, and wait till you meet this one, and wait till you meet that one.
So you have like a dream team.
So, but my doctor, so I have 2 main doctors. I'll call him Dr. S and Dr. M. Dr. S was the first one that I met. Little bitty woman, about 4 feet tall. So this was on the Wednesday after I had been diagnosed. And they were like, okay. And this doctor's appointment takes like 4 hours, 5 hours. And she's the surgeon. So she's the one who decides. She explains everything. And she's the one who has made a plan.
Okay.
She's the one who has started the plan. She started your plan. So she starts your plan. She comes in. I'm sitting on the little table. And I took Sophia and Grandma with me. And she walks in and she looks at you with these big eyes and she says, I'm so happy to meet you, but I'm so sorry it's under these circumstances.
Yeah.
And then she gives you a hug. And then
That's a lot.
It is. I mean,
it's stupid, but it's not stupid.
So, I spent like 4 hours with this woman.
I promise we're going to record an episode where we're not crying hysterically.
I know, right? I'm sorry.
No, God, please don't apologize.
So,
oh, God.
I spent like 4 hours with her. Then she says, okay, well, tomorrow you're having surgery to have a port put in. The fuck is that?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So I go across the way to the other part of the hospital, and I'm getting blood work done and chest x-rays, and be here tomorrow at this time. Don't eat anything after this time. You're getting this and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. But while I'm at the first appointment with her, she hands Sophia a card. She says, give this to your mom later. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So later on, Sophia was like, oh, I forgot to give you. This is what Dr. S said to give you. I was like, okay. So I open up this card, and it is a beautiful handmade card. It's got like little jewels on it, and it's got a personal handwritten note. And, you know, I'm not religious, but it has like a little Bible verse on it about strength and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then it's got a note in there from her to you about, I know this is probably one of the most difficult things that you've ever had to go through, but just know that you're a strong woman and you're going to get through this and, you know, all this stuff, right? So she gives you this card. And then the next day I had my surgery for my thingy, my port. Come out of surgery. Now, mind you, it's been less than a week. It's been 6 days since I got diagnosed. I've had all of this information thrown at me. Like a shit ton of information. You know, I've got I've got probably 4 or 5 files full of cancer stuff at this point a weekend. So I'm just a mess. I don't think I've really processed all this. They had me go to surgery. I had my port put in. And I woke up and I was bawling.
Yeah.
Bawling. Like you would not believe. And Dr. S was there. And she came over and hugged me. And just sat there and hugged me. I'm for your doctor to do that. Because you have breast cancer. I mean, that's something. So, my little nurse, her name was Tanya, too. And she was like, hey, I know you're diabetic. Do you want something besides water? Because your blood sugar was good. I was like, yeah, do you have cranberry juice? She was like, yeah, she brought me these 2 big things of, for some reason, hospitals have the best goddamn cranberry juice. I have it at chemo and I drink it all the time. It's the best goddamn cranberry juice. So she brought me like 2 on ice and I was just like, and she was like, oh, Dr. S wanted me to give you this. And it was another card.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, you know, hey, you did amazing today. This is just the beginning of the journey that's going to make you have a long, full life and all this stuff. And I mean, and every time you see her, she gives you a card like this. Wow. I went to work and the lady who had that doctor, she was like, did she give you a card? And I was like, yes.
Oh, fuck. Yes.
Said, yes, she gave me cards. And so, and then after that, you have an appointment that lasts about 8 hours where you start at 10 in the morning and well, it's about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. And then you don't get done until 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon where you meet with your entire team. So what they have done is they've had an appointment.
Wow.
They have had, a powwow, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. All your doctors have gotten together in person, on the phone, whatever. And then they come in and they tell you, they introduce themselves to you and they tell you what their part is going to be and what they're going to do and what they need from you.
Wow, that's awesome.
And so you go through that. So you get to see Dr. S, and then you get to see Dr. M. Then you get to see the geneticist, and you get to see everybody.
Right.
Your reconstructive surgeon, your oncology pharmacist, your just everybody.
Wow.
And you're going through all of this, and every time they come in, and they just load you up. They're giving you paperwork and they're telling you, fill this out. You meet with financial people, social workers. You meet with everybody. I still have stuff I have to fill out.
No wonder it's 8 hours.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I still have stuff I have to fill out.
Because I'm sitting here thinking, like, why does this take 8 hours? Now I understand why it takes 8 hours.
I still have some stuff I have to fill out for some grants. Mm-hmm. Kelly, my nurse navigator, brings you stuff. Like, she brought me stuff for like gift cards, gift certificates for a wig store.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So just massages, all kinds of stuff, yoga classes, therapy, just everything.
Right.
Everything. So, like, and at this point, I'm like a week and a half into my diagnosis, right? And they're just like, are you okay? How's it going? And I'm like, this is a lot to take in. Like, it's been like 10 days since y'all told me I have cancer.
Right.
And I've had surgery. My first chemo is scheduled. I am on all these pills. You guys have, this is a lot. And
Right.
she said the reason that is because they give themselves at this cancer center. And I'm sure this is like something that most of them do. From the day that you're diagnosed, they give themselves 30 days to get you in treatment.
Oh.
And they work hard to beat that. They did it for me within like 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
And that's like,
Okay.
yeah, it's crazy to me. She was like, yeah, we give ourselves 30 days from the day that you are diagnosed, the day that we tell you.
Mm-hmm.
She said, so you were diagnosed on the 9th of August, September 9th, we needed you in treatment. She said, you've already been in treatment. So that's why we do it like this. So it's intense to say the very least. Like, I'm just like, wow, this is a fucking lot. Like, it's a lot. But,
You're on the road. You're on the path.
I'm on the path. I mean, and I got good news last week when I went. She said that, it felt like it was getting smaller. They were a little concerned. They had me do another mammogram and biopsy because it felt bigger. Mm-hmm. And I told her it's because everybody and their fucking grandma touched it for like 2 days straight. Like, every time I turned around, you bitches were fucking poking at it. Stop aggravating him, man. He's a little aggravated now.
I think we need to name him. We want to name him.
I don't know, but
Satan?
Satan. No, somebody already has that name.
Yeah, somebody already
somebody
has
else
that name. Never mind.
So, and that's another
Beelzebub.
thing. Beelzebub. So once I got my results back from the genetic testing, they're like, okay, we have some decisions to make. And I was like, well, my decision's already made.
Yeah.
When I talked to Dr. S and Dr. M, and they were just like, well, you sure? And I was like, yeah. I said, I'm not doing this again, I said, you guys don't know this, but I was in an extremely abusive marriage. Extremely.
Right.
I said, me keeping them would be the equivalent of me going back and marrying him again.
Yeah. No.
I said, to me, it just...
Absolutely not.
It's stupid.
No.
They're going to kill me.
Totally.
He would have killed me. Get this shit off me.
Exactly.
I don't want it. I don't want it at all. And they were just like...
Fair enough.
You got it. You got it. So, because at first they were just going to do my ovaries.
Right.
And Dr. M was like, hey, how about we just do the whole thing? And I was like, hey, girl, whatever you want to do. Have a party. You want to donate it to somebody? Whatever you want to do. If I can get rid of it.
Yeah.
Get rid of it. I already met with the physical therapy people last week to measure my arms and stuff. Bitch wrote all over me. Just fucking all over me. She just wrote everywhere on my arms.
Right.
But they have to measure them because since they're going to be taking out some of my lymph nodes, I could get lymphedema. And then you ever see those people that have those big fat arms with like that band around it or that sleeve?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that can happen once they take out some of my lymph nodes. She said they'll probably only take out like 5. But those 5, the other ones could be like, oh, what the fuck's going on? And
right.
It can make you swell. So they have to measure you and do all this stuff. So I already got that. And so I'll probably have my surgery. I'll go see Dr. S in December. Okay. I'll see her in December. And then we will set up my my surgery date. And then I'll have 10 rounds of radiation.
Okay.
The radiation is the easiest thing out of all of this from what I've heard.
All right. Well, that's good.
The radiation, basically, they'll give me 3 tattoos, little dots on my chest. I'll have to go for 2 weeks, 5 days a week. So it's 10 rounds. So every, 2 week, 10 business days, whatever. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks, I'll go Monday through Friday. Yeah. So this watch, my brother got me this iWatch for my birthday early, and the fucking thing, I can't, it keeps just blinking and dinking and at me and shit. I don't know what's going on. So apparently, like, they give you like 3 little tattoos, right? One of the people said that the longest, it takes more time to get undressed than it actually does to do the fucking radiation. You go in, take off your shirt, beep, beep, beep. You're done. Put your shirt on, go.
Shut up.
This shit just takes longer to get checked in and get your shirt off than it does to actually do it. And then you leave.
Wow.
I was like, wow. So, and then that'll be that'll be it of it. It kind of put a monkey wrench in some of my plans because I was going to go to Europe in March.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to put that back. Sophia's still going to go because it's on her. It's for school.
Right.
But me, David, and our friend Janetta are going to wait until probably fall to go by ourselves then.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool because we want to go to Germany and it'll be around Oktoberfest time.
Mm-hmm.
So, all the fucking more reasons. So here was David. So chemo makes your teeth really weak. My teeth are super weak as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So once all this is done, I'm going to take a couple days and I'm just going to have my teeth redone.
Okay.
David's office, his doctor,
Mm-hmm.
he's in remission from cancer.
Okay.
The only thing I'll have to pay are the lab fees. It's like $250.
Shut up. That's
He's gonna do all my teeth, and they need to be done bad.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So David was like, "Let me get this fucking straight. You're gonna lose a bunch of weight. So whenever we go to Europe, you'll have new teeth, new hair, new boobs, and a new body." Bitch, are you serious?
You better work,
I was
bitch.
like, yeah. He was like, you may have to take another passport picture. I was like, fucking right.
Oh my God.
I was
Totally.
like, yeah, because I just got my passport like the month before I found out I had cancer.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I just gotten mine and Sophia's done.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it's going to be like but that I feel like is, I mean, I'm not terminal by any means. I'm not terminal. I'm not going to die from this shit. It's a fucking struggle because I'm somebody who's used to getting up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and running until 11 o'clock at night doing stuff and, working and doing everything else. And now, driving my car to 7-Eleven is fucking just, and I have the worst fucking road rage right now.
Oh God. Of course.
Oh my, it's 10 times worse.
Like, I don't
I have just
any patience.
Rage in general. Like I stopped to get a bottle of water at Loaf and Jug earlier and the lady was taking too long and I almost threw my money at her and walked out.
Oh my God.
And she was like, I'm so sorry about the wait, whatever. And I just gave her the money.
Oh my God.
I was just so fucking annoyed. Like everything fucking annoys me.
Yeah.
But David, so this guy, he is doing everything in his power to keep me from being stressed out. Like, if there's a problem, don't go to your mother. You come to me.
Yeah.
If you need this, you come to me. Like, It's been a whole. He's like, I told them not to fucking talk to you about that and blah blah blah. So it's been, he's trying to take stuff off of my plate.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not dead. I can still do stuff, man.
Right.
I'm not, So he's just, and the kids were pissing me off before he left. Just acting ridiculous, the two of them, because they're brother and sister. And he was like, look, goddammit, I am not going to put up with this shit.
Yeah.
He said, your mother has cancer and I am not ready to lose my sister, my best friend, because you two assholes can't calm down.
Right.
No, not going to happen. You're going to shut your fucking mouths. You're going to do this, and,
Sounds like David.
Yeah, so he was like, because I'm not ready to lose my sister because you two want to drag her through the fucking mud with your bullshit.
Yeah.
So he's been very, so it's been quite the, it's been quite the experience. To say
But you are on the path.
I am, and it's going to get better. It's,
totally.
I mean,
well,
just like with anything, you have good days, bad days. Today's an okay day. When I got up this morning, the bottom of my feet hurt and my throat hurt. I don't fucking know why, but it just
good days and bad days.
Yeah, good days and bad days. I mean, and I can sometimes it starts out pretty shitty, and then by the time 10 o'clock rolls around, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good. I have a really hard time sleeping right now.
Yeah.
But like at night, and I'm not sleeping during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I wake up every day about 1:30 in the morning.
Okay.
I stay up till about 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Okay.
And then I sleep till about 6:30, 7. I wake Sophia up for school and everything, and then she goes to school, and I'm just like, okay. And then, but on the days like, I know this time next week, I'll be in bed. I'll just be knocked the fuck out because there's no goddamn way. So it's just easier. My father was like, If I was you, I'd be high all the fucking time. I'd just be fucking wasted every fucking day. I'd be high through the whole goddamn thing, Tanya.
Oh my God.
So, yeah,
Well-
but that's why we've been gone, because
And
I got the cancer.
Right. Well, there's two things. So, number one, I have this psychic friend, and we hadn't talked about, obviously, what was going on and whether it was a life-altering event for me or for you, nothing. But she called me last week and was like, I had a dream about you and Tanya. And I was like, okay. She was like, whatever health issue Tanya's going through, she's going to be just fine. I was like, whoa. But she gave me like a list of things for you to do. But then what she talked about, she's like, for the show, she's like, you need to keep doing the show whenever Tanya feels up to it, because it will keep her spirits up. And I told Jess, I was like, I feel like every time I talk to Tanya, I'm asking her to come, like, can you come do the show? And I don't want you to be like, bitch, I don't care about the show right now. And I was like, but I really felt like it was important for you to have that kind of sense of normalcy and lifting you up. And she was like, yes, record whenever you can. She was like, then have guest hosts. She's like, have your friends. And then she says, you don't even need to try to coordinate with their schedules. She's like, you have a built-in guest host in your home. I was like, oh, I don't know why it's never even occurred to me for George to come on the show. But she was too funny. She was just like, she knew. And so that's honestly going to be the plan for the show. But you know, the only other thing I want to add, and then we'll move on to record our next episode, because this is just my husband. And this is how much I love him. He, when I told him, you know, the girls have called him Captain Save-A-Ho.
He's Captain Save-A-Ho.
Because for a long time I was the only one who was married, and he kind of de facto became all of their husbands. Like if they
fell in the
needed
shower,
something.
George is on his way.
Exactly. Sophia's locked out of her car, George is on the way. Like it just... That is George. So when I told him, he was like, okay, well, how bad is it? And I didn't know it was stage 1 at the time. And I was like, well, and before I could say anything, he goes, okay, let me rephrase that. He says, is it, I need to drive her to chemo appointments bad? Or is it, I need to move out of my office because we may need to adopt Sophia bad? I was like, Jesus, George. But he was like, we adopted Nathan. We can adopt Sophia. I was like, George. I was like, she's not dead and she's not going to die. He was like, I'm just trying to ascertain the seriousness of this situation. I was like, George.
Wow.
But you know, that's my husband.
Yeah,
like he is just whatever is necessary. He's like ready to go.
Right.
So that is the update. We will keep you guys updated. Thank you so much.
And I'll
for
give some
sticking with
pictures to
us.
Laura of me getting my chemo, my poison.
Yeah.
You guys can see like the red syringes of death.
Yeah. I want to see these now. Yeah.
And then you know, me and my little bald ass head. And so Johan is stupid.
Yeah.
You saw what he did whenever he saw me on Sunday. He kissed my fucking head.
He did.
He was like, come bring it in, girl. I gotta kiss this head. I was like, oh my God. I said, my head is sweaty. I'm fucking hot, man. And he didn't give a shit. He rubbed my head and kissed it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then Avery, joking a little bit, has been calling me Kemosabi. Shit.
Shut up. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Because I keep telling the kids I'm going to dress up like Uncle Fester for Halloween. But, yeah. He's like, hey, what's up, Kemosabi? Shut the fuck up.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's good days, bad days. I mean, it is what it is. What am I going to do, you know? What am I going to do?
Well, we will keep you guys updated, and all of the nice emails that you guys have been sending us is very much appreciated. So I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry if I was such a downer.
No, shut up. So we will keep you guys updated, but Tanya, I just really want you to know that we're literally all here for you. We are here to love you and support you. And whatever you need, tell us. Even if you don't tell us, we'll probably still be there anyway. But please, 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 just know that you are not alone in this, nor will you ever be alone in this. All right. So until next time, I'm Lara Mack.
And I'm Tanya Edwards.
Love your faces.
Smooches.
Like what you hear? Rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or your favorite podcasting platform. And follow us on our Facebook page by searching Q as in Cucumber. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching QAIC_Lara, LARA, and QAIC_Tanya, TANYA. Don't forget to check out our other show, hosted by me and Jessica James, called The Parent Memoirs. And we want to hear from you. Share your stories by emailing us at qasincucumber@yahoo.com, and you might just hear your stories on a future episode. Love your faces.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.